Hello, my name is Claire Hill, and this is my first proper video for YouTube and just for YouTube. So it's making me feel quite nervous and a little bit out of my comfort zone. Normally, I'm live on Instagram and I have my little community on there and I know who I'm talking to, but I need to push myself a little bit out of my comfort zone, show up more on YouTube, because I really believe that I can help more of you transform from worriers to warriors. So here I am. It has taken, this is the third time I have attempted to record this, and I really hope this one works because it's been trying my patience. I have a little bit of a cold today, so I'm feeling a little bit under the weather. Plus, over the weekend, I had a huge vulnerability hangover, and that's what I'm here to talk to you about today. A vulnerability hangover. Have you ever experienced one? Do you know what one of those is? It's basically the impact and the feelings you feel after you put yourself out of your comfort zone a little bit. Now, the further you push yourself out of your comfort zone, the stronger the vulnerability hangover. And you might feel these, have these in social situations. Have you ever been to a party and you've met somebody new and you start chatting to them and you're like, oh, hi, yeah, I do this. And then afterwards you think, oh, do they think I'm a bit of a knob? Did I just talk about myself the whole time? What do they think of me? And you feel like a little bit of a tangle in the pit of your stomach. That is what a vulnerability hangover is. It feels very, very uncomfortable, but not in a nice way. It allows your imposter syndrome to get really loud, as well as any negative thoughts and limiting beliefs. It can be quite impactful in how you approach those days when you're working in your business. So I had my vulnerability hangover over the weekend. Today, I'm recording this on a Monday. And I find it sometimes quite difficult to have a vulnerability hangover when I'm working, when I have time off, because it's like I haven't got enough time and space to sort of distract myself and get on with a to-do list. I'm supposed to be present with my husband and my son and do wonderful mum and wife things, or be a friend, or go out, and I'm just like, I need to be in my business. It's really painful. It's horrible. But it's one of those symptoms of running a business that no one really speaks about, and it can get you really down if you're not aware of what it is. So if you ever feel like that following pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, it's what we call a vulnerability hangover. On Friday, I pushed myself out of my comfort zone not once, but twice. I recorded quite a vulnerable podcast episode, which is actually being published on Thursday, which I will share on here. It's episode 62 of the No Rest for the Vivid podcast. And I also shared my 5 big dreams inside my Vivid Club membership. Now, that was quite a big thing for me to do, because my members are looking at me for answers, to support them, to give them a way to grow their business and to feel like they are proper warrior bosses. And what if I put my dreams in there and they all think she is just absolutely thinking not right, she's not thinking, or she's thinking outside the box, she can't even see the box, she's so far away from it, there's no way she'll ever achieve those dreams. I was thinking all of these things, like people are going to really judge my dreams, when actually it was a good thing to do. It was a way to encourage them to dream big, and for them it's like it's quite contagious. When people start dreaming big, they're like, oh, maybe I could do something like that, or maybe I could try that, and it can be quite contagious. So that's why I shared it, and I did this quite vulnerable podcast episode. But over the weekend I was feeling, I'm sure this cold was sort of approaching. I didn't have the reserves as I normally would of energy, and therefore the vulnerability hangover was quite severe. However, I was sort of got in tune with the fact that that's how I was feeling. I was very aware, and I have like a recovery plan, and I always go back to my warrior energy toolkit, and I will do a full video on warrior energy and the toolkit and what I use. Now, my top things that I use every single day is, I love wearing lipstick. I know that sounds so simple, but having a bit of colour on my face makes me feel more ready for the day. I could have no other makeup on, but a little bit of lipstick will make me feel right as rain. I love writing. I write every single day. I try to do 3 A4 sides, which is inspired by Julia Cameron's work around sort of helping you release your creativity. So I try and do 3 A4 sides, but if not, at least do 10 minutes, which is usually in the form of a brain dump, where I just get everything out that I'm sort of holding in my brain. Remember, our brains are there to think, not to remember. So I do those things. I try and move every day, whether that's dancing around the kitchen or walking or running, anything that sort of helps me to move. That makes me feel really good. I have my Warrior Energy playlist, which is it's up to 12 songs at the moment. Usually it's about 10 to 12 songs that I listen to in the same order every day, and that becomes my virtual commute, and it helps me sort of gear up for my working day, or even just to, like, at the weekend, just doing my normal day things. It helps me get my brain in a really good place, and it's the same songs in the same order, so it's like I'm driving to work following the same route. So it really helps me get into that good frame of mind. And then the last thing I do is I meditate, and I haven't meditated today. I can feel that I need to. And so once I have finally cracked this YouTube video, that is what I'm going to do. So when I feel like I've got a vulnerability hangover, when I'm inside of it, I just go back to my basics. I make sure I'm drinking enough water, that I've eaten, you know, I make sure I get an early night, and I make sure I do my Warrior Energy toolkit. This morning, I got up at 5:30 to make sure I had enough time to do as much of that before my son and my husband were getting up and ready for the day, so that I was in a good frame of mind as well. The other thing that I do when I've got a vulnerability hangover is I have to put things into place to make sure that I stay consistent. Because when you are in a vulnerability hangover and you feel maybe a little weaker, or you feel you just don't have as much energy, the first thing that you want to do is to try and seek out those things that give you a buzz. And it may be extra sales, a new product, a new design, a new service, just doing something new, like there's a new injection. And you may look to your business ideas, sort of like some of your money making ideas, and think, yeah, that is what I want to do. That's going to solve all of the problems. But straying too far away from your plan and not being consistent with your plan is why the plan doesn't always work and come to fruition. So I had to make sure, and I was starting in that mode last night. I was thinking, oh, I've got these really good ideas and stuff. And I was like, no. At the moment, I've got my Black Friday offers for the Vivid Club and for Vivid Wire, which are my 2 businesses. I'm really excited about both offers, especially my Vivid Club offer. I'm really, really excited. I've got an offer on my one-to-one packages for 2023. I've got that in place. For me to deviate from that and to maybe sort of mix message my marketing with a new product or a new service to try and jazz things up, when I don't need to, I just need to be consistent. That is what I need to do. It's so hard to be consistent when you have a vulnerability hangover, but it is so important. It's pushing past that vulnerability hangover and that resistance with consistency that helps you get the rewards at the end. So if you've ever felt like you've had a vulnerability hangover, I want you to know, and if when it happens again, because if you're pushing your business to grow and to earn, sustain and grow those profits that you want to do, you are going to feel like you're going to feel that you have a vulnerability hangover, because you have to push yourself a little bit out of your comfort zone. I mean, today I'm taking my great brave action in recording this YouTube video. It may be I have another follow-up of a vulnerability hangover, but I'm prepared. I know that I'm doing this and I know the impact it's going to have, but I need to make sure that I'm staying consistent throughout the vulnerability hangover. But let me know if you've ever had a vulnerability hangover. How do you cope with it? Do you have some sort of rescue remedies for yourself? Do you understand that when you push yourself out of your comfort zone a little bit, you are going to have that sort of negative impact? But what really comforts me when I feel like this, it means and it shows that I am heading in the right direction. I'm heading in the right direction to make those dreams a reality. And if I didn't push myself out of my comfort zone and I didn't have these vulnerability hangovers, I wouldn't be even closer to achieving that. So if you liked this video, please subscribe to my channel. I do have a podcast as well, and I've realised that I can actually record my podcast as well as these videos. So you're going to see a lot more of me on here, and I am in the process of uploading all of my content from Instagram here, so you can enjoy that too. If you've got any messages or anything, any questions or anything, please comment below, and you can find me at the vivid_club on Instagram. I was then, or you can look at some of my artwork, which is at vivid_wire, or send me an email, hello@vividclub.co.uk. All right, have an amazing day.